Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitangscha Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Himava Divyachtavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Some questions?
Dandavat Maharaj. We have a question from Krishna Padadas, Michigan, USA. Dandavats to all the devotees and Maharaj. I have two questions for Maharaj. First question is the Krishna consciousness movement that is growing today a part of Gaura Lila that is still unfolding? And next question is, can Maharaj explain the significance of the Nimai Pandit pastimes and how they are related to Radha Baba duty Subalita?
When Nimai Pandit went to take sannyas and Katwa from Keshava Bharati Maharaj, the time came for the giving of his sannyas name. And although his guru, his sannyas name was Bharati, that's one of the 10 prominent sannyas names. He did not give him that name, but said rather that because you're the personification of the distribution of Krishna consciousness, your name can be none other than Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sometimes told as, Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. So Krishna Chaitan means Krishna consciousness. He's saying you are Krishna consciousness personified, and you have descended in this world to distribute Krishna consciousness. So then your name necessarily must be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And we've also heard that at the time of giving the sannyas mantram, and what in this context is the sannyas mantram, because we know, technically speaking, at that time, place, circumstance, sannyas was equated with Mayavad sannyas of the Mayavadins. So when it came time to give the sannyas mantram, before Keshava Bharati spoke the mantram, Nimai Pandit said to him, I heard this mantram in a dream. Is this the mantra? And he spoke the mantra. And then Keshava Bharati acknowledged that. Yes, that is the mantra. So, Srila Guru Maharaj explained, this allows for the Sannyas mantra infused with the Radha Bhav or Gopi Bhav of Mahaprabhu to initiate really Keshava Bharati. And then he's acknowledging what is given. Because generally speaking, the Sannyas mantra of the day was, Tattvamasi, which Srila Prabhupada sometimes rendered as, thou art that, meaning that Brahman, that spiritual divine substance, you are that. Right? Same thing, ahang brahmasmi. Where they're saying, I am that Brahma. Right? Like we mentioned Walt Whitman the other day. He's so popular and he's considered a so-called American transcendentalist. His famous poem, Song of Myself. And if you look within his poetry, it's basically Brahmavad. So he called his book Leaves of Grass. He's feeling some oneness or unity with the leaves of grass, the blades of grass, and everything else. That's Brahmavad. Mayavad is worse than that. That's, Brahmavad, I shouldn't say worse, because on a certain level it's acceptable. But why Mayavad? Well, if it does not acknowledge the personality of Godhead, then there's some fault there. So why I say worse? Because Mayavadins are thinking that they are God, as opposed to just some oneness with the generic Brahman spirit of things, that they themselves are that divine substance and all of its fullness. So generally, the interpretation would be that I am that, to reassert one's spiritual identity along those lines. But Mahaprabhu, when we're just saying, is infusing this with the understanding that I am his. Right? That's different. Right? And sometimes Guru Maharaj would say 3 levels that can be conceived. One is, what was it? I am yours, then you are mine, and then he said, and at last their idea, I am you. So, and interestingly, maybe to segue towards Radha Bhav fully, is that Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is saying, talks of Grita Sneha and Madhu Sneha, when you're in the realm of prem or divine love. And saying Grita Sneha, that means like compared to ghee, is that like I am yours, I belong to you. And we think that's a good thing and wonderful notion. He said, but superior is Madhu Sneha, Sneha or pramic affection that's compared to honey, and says, you are mine, you belong to me. And I was happy to see when we were in Brindavan a couple times back, when we went to the Kaliyahrad, the Kadamba tree there, means that's the lake of Kaliya, where that pastime took place. And the Kadamba tree is there. And while we were there, singing some song, offering some praise and recollection of that pastime, some of the local girls came who go there every day and assemble, and from the ages of, like, I'd say 4, all the way up to, say, 18, in that range, a group of them. And they assemble every day at that Kadamba tree, and they sang these songs about Krishna in the Kadamba tree, Gopi Jana Bastra Hari, and his Kaliya pastimes, all these different pastimes of Krishna. They assemble there and sing those songs. And they've done this for many generations. Right? And they're very happy to see us there. But what I noted or observed is that they feel Krishna is theirs, that Krishna belongs to them, right? They may also think that they belong to Krishna, but they definitely feel Krishna is theirs. So if other people are appreciating their Krishna, they're very happy about that. So, after Nimai Pandit received this name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and it's been mentioned that the father of Srinivasa Acharya was there, and when he heard this, he became ecstatic, and an ecstatic rapture, repeatedly taking the name Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. And when he returned to his town, and the people were saying, "What happened in Katwa? We heard Nimai Pandit went there to take sannyas from the great Keshava Bharati." What? And he would just go, Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. Right? So, and Guru Maharaj pointed out, he became known as Chaitanya Das from that point on. Just as recorded in the Premadama Deva Stotram of Srila Guru Maharaj, the verse when it talks about when the barber approached to shave the beautiful hair of Nimai Pandit, and the surrounding multitudes were, their hearts were broken and they were devastated, and that barber was hesitating, and somehow they pushed him forward, and as he shaved his head, Guru Maharaj there, in his own translation of his own verse, he says, "Tears fell from the eyes of millions." Right? It gives us a hint of how much love and affection they have for him, that they can't bear that. To this day, that although Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and he was in the role of a sannyasi in sannyas vesh in Puri, and for the last 20, he lived for 48 years, so up to 24, takes sannyas at 24, for the last 24 years of his life, the Gaudiya Vaishnav devotee, they do not worship him in his sannyas vesh and with a shaved head. Right? To this day, and when I once asked Srila Guru Maharaj, because I was thinking, if these, the internal reason for his descent to be enveloped in Radha Bhav, and this takes place in Puri, and for the sake of this type of analysis, one might think, well, those are the highest pastimes. If we're going to use words like highest, deepest, then we think, well, that takes place there. But then I thought, but there's Navadvip and Mayapur and all the things that happen there. And not everyone from there is always in Puri. I was wondering, how should one think about this in terms of preference? I mean, it's a mysterious thing. But Guru Maharaj, when I presented this to him, without hesitation, he said, he said, stalwart followers of Mahaprabhu prefer Navadvip. And I mean, he said this in Navadvip at the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Maha. The way he said it, stalwart followers of Mahaprabhu prefer Navadvip. And it is not to take anything away from the Puri pastimes, but what it tells us about is heart. Actually, from one point of view, what takes place in Puri is often heartbreaking for the devotees. When you read that in Chaitanya Charitamritam, the ecstatic behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and such things, it's astonishing, but it is not how do you say, how the devotees see Mahaprabhu undergoing these ecstatic transformations, that's sometimes giving great pain to their hearts. Or to have to search for him, to think that he may have left the world, and then Swarup Damodar conducts a search party. So we can't analyze these things conventionally, but we look to the hearts of the Vaishnavas for guidance. So Guru Maharaj, at that time, he said, he referenced the song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in that song, it's addressing the return of Nimai Pandit to Navadvip as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The system again, in that time, after 5-6 years, you could return to your town, implying that for 5 or 6 years you should not. That's why Mother Sachi, knowing this, her request from her son was like, if you will stay in Puri, then I'll get news of you from time to time. I want you to stay with me, but then you'll be blamed for that. So I'll make the sacrifice. But if you stay in Puri, then your devotees will come, they'll give me news of you. But at the end of 6 years, so Mahaprabhu was traveling 6 years going to South India and other places. He returns, and to the mob, as we're told, and Rupa Goswami's Chaitanyastakam, Sadao Pasya Srimandrita Manujakaye Pranayatam Bahadbir Girvane Paramesha Prabhritibhi Shabhaktebhya Sudham Nijabhajanam Upadishan Satchetanna Kame Punar Abhidashor Yashati Padam. Rupa Goswami saying, what I saw with these eyes, will I see that again? And what did I see? I saw, Brahma and Shiva descended in this world into in the guise of ordinary human beings, just so they could have a glimpse of the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what gifts did they come bearing? The love and affection in their hearts. That's what they came with. That's how he begins. It's a very beautiful way to begin. Saying, I saw Brahma and Shiva descend in the guise of human beings, just when he was, they wanted to see that, see him like that. See this marvelous transformation of Krishna. Right? We must remember that Brahma Sangita, that Brahma who said, Kandarpakoti kamaniya vishesha shobham yam shama sundaram achintya guna swarupam. The inconceivable beauty of Shama Sundar Krishna. What is it like? Kandarpa, Koti Kandarpa. Kandarpa Koti kamaniya vishesha shobham. Saying, if 10 million cupids assembled, personified, merged as one, that would be a hint of the inconceivable beauty of Shama Sundar Krishna. And then he knows, that's Shama Sundar Krishna. Like that. He's descended in this marvelous, inconceivably beautiful form. I want to have a glimpse. How can you improve on some of, Kandarpakoti? Then if we can conceive Srimati Radharani, right? As beautiful as Krishna is, and all attractive Krishna, right? Everyone is drawn, irresistibly drawn, in attraction to the central conception of the infinite, one of beauty, love, charm, sweetness. But that Krishna, as Sukh and Sari, when they were on the fingers of Mahaprabhu, those two parrots, the male parents saying, oh, Krishna's Madan Mohan, he's so beautiful, he bewilders Cupid. And Sari saying, yes, but he himself, he's bewildered by the beauty of Radharani. And they're going back and forth. And Sukh is defeated by Sari. And he's saying, yes, but he is totally as bewildered as everyone is in this world of Cupid. And then the Cupid of Krishna, he's bewildered by her beauty. So how inconceivably beautiful she must be. And now Shama Sundar Krishna is enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani and become Gauranga Sundar. Brahma and Shiva want to see that. And not just see. And it says they're coming with the gift of the love and affection that's in their hearts. We're privileged to hear about these things. This is reality. Right? When the devotees ask the Guru Maharaj so many questions, and so patiently, tolerantly, all of, Mamanina, Mana, the whole thing, Guru Maharaj. But then at a certain point, things turned a little bit. But one day, Guru Maharaj said, can I ask you a question? Everyone like, yes, yes. Guru Maharaj said, what is Krishna consciousness? And someone said, like, bhakti, And then one devotee is really smart. He said, it's what Prabhupada taught us. How are you going to argue with that? And then he said, yes. And Krishna, did he mention anything about him? And then before they stopped, Guru Maharaj said, it is reality. Krishna consciousness is reality. Right? It's not some religious idea or something that came from India or Bengal or this, that, or the other thing. Maybe via But Krishna consciousness is reality. That's what it is. And then Guru said, and it is in your interest to become acquainted with that reality. Right? Just because we're in a world that is, what's the word? Starts with an A. Anathema, antithetical to Krishna consciousness. We should not forget. It's in the Bhagavatam and other places, but as Guru Maharaj reminded us, remember, the vast majority of souls in the world is the spiritual world. It's not like this is the main thing, and then there's like, because it's so rare, there must be hardly anybody there. Right? It's the opposite. Sometimes it says 3/4, 1/4. That's not even literal. It's just to give you an idea. It's not actually a 1/4. Right? It's a drop. Right? When at the Hera Panchami observance, when Srivas Thakur wants to bring out Swarup Damodar. Remember, the great devotees, they're in a concealed position. Right? They're keeping inside. And so Srivas Thakur, to get Swarup Damodar to come out, he says, what is the comparison of the opulence of Goloka to Vaikuntha? Look at my goddess of fortune on the jeweled throne, so infinitely opulent. And what do the gopis have? Right? They're churning butter, milking cows, living in the forest, trees. He knows by saying that it will be intolerable to Swarup Damodar to let it go. That's why he's saying it. He wants to hear Gopi Bhav. He wants to press that button. And Mahaprabhu even warns him, Srivas, don't, he says, you don't know who you're dealing with here. Swarup Damodar is a Shuddha Bridge Basi. Opulence is not a word in his dictionary. And Swarup Damodar, he's saying, I know what opulence is. I just think, Srivas, let's call it temporary insanity. Right? You've gone mad for a moment, and you've forgotten the opulence of Vrindavan. What is it? And he's saying one of them saying, Sriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusho Kalpataravo Drumi Bhumi Chintamani Toyamritam Amrit. The Lakshmis, the goddesses of fortune, are there in that Chintamani land where the water is nectar, Toyam Amritam. Ganam Natya Priya Bangshi Saki. All movement is dance, all speech is sung. And in that plain, the Sriya Kanta Kanta, the lovers of Krishna, the Braja Gopis, that soil there is of Chintamani. I think one Chintamani gem is more opulent than the whole Vaikuntha world, the innumerable Vaikuntha planets. Right? And we're told, what is this world with the innumerable material universes? Like a clouded portion of the spiritual sky. It's nothing in comparison to the innumerable Vaikunthas. And here we're told, but in Brindavan, posing as a 50 square kilometer village, in one part of the soil is the entire Vaikuntha world. with those innumerable Vaikunthas, of which there's a spot in there somewhere that's the innumerable material universes, the Mayic Jagat. So he's saying, one Chintamani gem, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu, Kalpavriksha Lakshavriteshu, Surabhi Abhi Palayantam, Lakshmi, Sahasrasata Sambrama Sevyamanam, Govinda Mari Purusham Damahamajami. One Chintamani gem has more opulence than all of that. And you say, how is that possible? Saying if you have a vat of sugarcane juice, and then you start condensing it, and it turns into gur, and you condense it, molasses, you condense it further, it turns into gur. You keep condensing it, then that vat, it can become one chunk of rock candy. So this huge vat of sweetness turns into one rock candy. Right? I'm saying all of that opulence, sweet and Vaikuntha condensed into one Chintamani gem has more than that in that 50 square kilometer plain, so-called. Right? That's rustic, village-like. Right? And then what does he say? Chintamani's charana bhushana mangananam sringara pushpa tarabas suranam. Rajatanam nanukamadenu aho vibhuti. Brindani cheti sukha sindhu aho vibhuti. Sukha Sindhu means the notion of having. What? Aho vibhuti. What sort of opulence there? He said that gopis take those Chintamani gems and string them as ankle bells, anklets, and wear them as ornaments on their holy lotus feet. So what is opulence? And then Srivas Thakur becomes ecstatic. That's what he wanted to hear. So apparently, under the influence of Vaikuntha Aiswarja, really, that was just a cover for him to squeeze the heart of Swarup Damodar so that this sort of flow would come out. So, from that plane, so to hear Shyamasundar Krishna has now appeared as Gauranga Sundar Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu Gauranga Sundara Bara Nagarabara Nityam Nijar Namabhi. And he is dancing in Navadip, madly singing his own name, falling to the ground in ecstasy. They want to see this. He's returned. So many are coming forward to beg forgiveness. Mother Sachi and Vishnu Priya are in the periphery of the crowd. And interestingly, Srila Guru Maharaj said, and Vishnu Priya in a tattered, darkened sari, from neglect, says to Sachi Mata, he says, "There is your son." And she cannot come forward. So much heartbreak. Right? The heartbreak of separation. Tyaktva Sudushta Jasurepshita Raja Lakshmin Dharmista Arja Bachasa Yadagara Ranyam Mayam Rigam Dointa Ipsitam Anbadavad Bande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. That he had to give up the imperial throne of the heart of Vishnu Priya for the benefit of others. Right? That sloka, we're told, is equally applicable to Ramachandran Mahaprabhu. The case of Ramachandran is saying, and what does she do? She's chasing after the deer. But here it's saying, when applied to Mahaprabhu, he's chasing after those who are chasing after Maya to save them. And to do this, he had to leave the imperial throne of the heart of Vishnu Priya Devi, which is inconceivable to us. But she's there on the side, in the periphery, and we're sometimes told that to give her something, that he steps out of his padukas, the wooden shoes of the sannyasin, and as the crowd goes, that she comes and clutches those and worships those. And they say, when you go to Mahaprabhu Bari, Vishnu Priya Bari, in their house, where that deity of Mahaprabhu is, that they also have the padukas. And at that time, he goes to the house of Vidya Vachaspati, relative of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in Vidyanagar. And everyone's madly following after him to have a glimpse of the inconceivable beauty of Mahaprabhu Gauranga Sundar. Rupa Goswami, Raso Dhamma, Kamar Budama Dora Dhamma Ujjala Tunur. How beautiful and shining and resplendent and sweet is this form of Mahaprabhu. Raso Dhamma Kamar Buddha. Again, the Cupid. Kama Arbuddha means in here 10 million cupids. Rasa Uddam means in their full-blown Cupid expression, and at the maximum of their beauty and attraction. He's saying that is the Madhurojvala, means Madhu and Ujjvala, like sweet and radiance of his form. He says in the next line, it made his sannyas cloth glow, his goldenness, that radiance. And remember, what is it from? It just happens to be. Why? Radha Bhav, the heart of Radharani, Krishna enveloped in the heart of Radharani, the radiance of her heart, that is the kanti, or the duty, the glow. Right? It is due to the presence of her heart. Right? So, and Srila Guru Maharaj, to in that same region of Kavya of Rupa Goswami, he writes, Swarna Koti Darpanava Dehovarna Gauravam. He's saying like 10 million brilliant, shining mirrors that are made out of gold. Right? Then we can understand who has the eyes to see this, to make these observations. Right? Swarna Koti Darpanava Dehovarna Gauravam Padma Parijata Banditanga Saurabam Koti Kami Murchitangri Rupa Rasa Rangaram Prema Dhamma Devam Eva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. And then, so as Rupa Goswami says, like 10 million cupids in full-blown cupidity, and Guru Maharaj is saying, 10 million cupids will faint to see the beauty of Mahaprabhu. So beautiful, so original, fresh, indicative of heart that has genuine appreciation. Means it's alive in him. It's living, coming out in a living way. That's what it means. You cannot do that. If the same sentiments are not in your heart, it will not come out in that sort of expression. That's why he's Srila Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Rakak, Om Vishnupad Bhakti Rakak, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Then, so Mahaprabhu, the word spreads, he's in Vidyanagar. And the people of Navadip running madly, they have to cross the Ganga to get there. And we know, there's a certain amount of boats on any given day. Just now coming. So some people on the boat, then they're going, that's not it. Other people, they turn the all-purpose pot, Indian pot that can be used for so many things. Turn it upside down, it's a flotation device. So they're like floating across the Ganga. And then other people, they just go, let's just go for it. And they just run into the Ganga and the waters part. This is better than the Bible. So no one can drown because so many people are pushing through, the water separate, they just go to the other side. That's mad eagerness, right? What the heart, best type of heart. And they get there, and then Mahaprabhu's in the house, and Vidya Vachaspati is saying, like, I think you're going to have to go outside and like see everybody. Because the people, they're, chanting, Haribo, Haribo, and Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and to have a glimpse, that we know in these houses they have like upper floor and there's a veranda, and the people are so eager to have a glimpse, they're climbing trees, and by divine potency, even a twig on a tree can support a human body. So now the trees are covered with human beings, there's everywhere. And then finally Mahaprabhu comes out, and the people go mad drinking the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But describing this scene is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in this song, he's saying he's there. And his heart gives vent to the prayer of saying, oh, when will Nimai Pandit give up the robes of renunciation and join us again in Srivasangam? And Guru Maharaj says, and what is this like? When the gopis see Krishna in Kurukshetra, and they're saying, when will Krishna give up this kingly dress and again be like in his Gopavesh, Benukar, Navakishore, Natabar, Naralila Hoyanurup, and with his flute, and join us again in our pastimes on the banks of the Jamuna and Brindavan. So Guru Maharaj said, this is the mood that is expressed by the devotees in Navadvip. So, and the modern day Krishna consciousness movement has descended from that plane that we should remember. Whatever we may think of it and normal consideration, we should remember, why did Mahaprabhu descend into this world? Bahiranga Sange Kore, Nama Sankirtan, Antaranga Sange Kore, Rasa Ashwadan. In general, to his public service to distribute Nam Sankirtan. Right? Because we're told, Nam Sankirtan Kalo Parama Upai. In the Kali Yuga, Nam Sankirtan, taking of the holy name of Krishna, will give you everything. Right? Through sound culture. It's interesting, that's also in Vedanta. Anavriti Shabda, Anavriti Shabda. Right? So it's there, you could say, in an encrypted way. By hearing, right? Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro, Premamritam Bonidhi, and Lokanam Hitakarano Tribhuvane. This is what's beneficial for everyone. So when Srila Prabhupada went to the park in Tompkins Square and elsewhere, but one very interesting thing he said, I was prepared to go on chanting regardless of the response, because that's what I do. Right? Being a Krishna-loving person, devotee of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, our Guru Varga, he's saying, I like doing this. And of course, we like doing it when you get a big response. But our participation and promotion of Krishna consciousness is not based upon any particular level of response. Yeah, who doesn't want to have so many join in? But if you look at Prabhupada's example, for so many years, for the majority of his life, his adult life, the response was I'll say small. Right. That didn't dissuade him from reading, when he say, daily I am relishing the nectarine of Chaitanya Leela, the source of my all vitality. Do not let that remark escape you. Right. He's saying, this is where I'm getting my vitality. Daily I'm relishing the nectarine of Chaitanya Leela, as we're discussing here. And, karmanye vadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. We have a duty, a responsibility to cultivate Krishna consciousness ourselves, and as a process of self-development, attempt to distribute Krishna consciousness to others. But, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had 5 or 7 disciples. Does that make his contribution anything less? Right? Here, Lokanath, 1 disciple. Narottam, 100,000. Gorkashore Das Babaji Maharaj, 1 disciple. Who's that 1 disciple? Saraswati Thakur. 64 plus Gaudiya Mats. And then instilled in his followers the necessity, the urgency of distributing Krishna consciousness. Vilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhantavani. Then one of his disciples, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, takes Krishna consciousness all over the world. But he didn't start preaching in 1965. And he's preaching his whole life. But at that time, a huge response came. So the modern day Krishna consciousness movement is directly descended from the movement of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we see that So many years of Mahaprabhu's manifest pastimes devoted to extending Krishna consciousness to others, and then in his final days, with the permission of Advaita Acharya and the other devotees, this internal culture became the emphasis. Right? Radha Bhava Duty Subalita. And we're told at the zenith points of separation, he's plunging the depths of Radha Bhav. It's mentioned behind closed doors with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda. It says in the text, Uddhava Darshan. But what does that mean? It's saying the way that Radharani behaved when Uddhava came. What is that? It's a reference to the Brahma Gita, the divine madness that Radharani manifests when Uddhava comes with Krishna's message to the Brajagopis to assuage the separation, the anguish of separation they're experiencing in their hearts. So while Uddhava's delivering that message, Radharani is spun off in divine madness, and the subject matter is the Brahma Gita, right? Which is beyond discussion. Right? But Srila Guru Maharaj sometimes would speak about that privately. Once with Ban Maharaj, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, in a bomb shelter in Brindavan. Ban Maharaj had a bomb shelter because Babaji Maharaj said, we're the highest talks in the lowest place. Not meaning Vrindavan, lowest place, but the bomb shelter was underground. That's where they would have the talk. So unless you're privy to that bomb shelter underground in Vrindavan with Guru Maharaj, I asked him once if he would say something about it. And I reminded him once that he promised me he would. And he started speaking about it, and within 2 or 3 minutes I realized this is incomprehensible. But that said, one verse there we can say something about because it's relevant to everything else we've discussed. And it's where Radharani, she's saying, Yadanucharita Lila Krishna, Yadanucharita Krishna, Piyusha Viprut, huh? Lila Karna Krishna, Piyusha Viprut, Sakre Danda Viduta Danda Dharma Vinashta, Sapadi Griha Kutumbam Dinam Utrija, Bahuva Vihanga, something, Sarjam Charanti. He's saying, Yad Anucharita Lila Karna Piyusha Vipra. Piyush means nectar. So she's saying this in a mood of man, loving anger. So remember, she's speaking to a bumblebee who is black and yellow. So he has a black and he has yellow, he's very reminiscent of Krishna, if not Krishna himself. They're different. Some Bhagavad commentators say, as a bumblebee, Krishna wanted to see her in this deep state of separation. Others, he's the representative. However you take it, she's complaining, voicing complaints, divine complaints. And she's saying that when you hear about Krishna, the nectar of hearing about Krishna, that drop, it's so powerful, it's so potent, that if you get one drop enters you, your life is ruined. You're finished. So he's saying, how powerful is a drop of Krishna nectar? Like the book, Krishna Karanamritam, Krishna nectar for the ear. If you hear about Krishna, she's saying, if a drop of that nectarine substance goes through your ear and then lands on your heart, you're finished. Your life is ruined. And she said, and then you're just going to end up being a beggar with nothing. Like birds, how they go around and they take a little something and, you know, they go another place, and just go from place to place somehow living. But then, like Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur and other thing, what is she saying? The beauty of what she's saying is a drop of that nectar. It's mentioned earlier in the Bhagavatam, twice in the Bhagavatam actually, almost identical. Vidyate hridaya granti chidyante sarva samshaya chiyante chasya karmani mai drishte akilatmani. That, back to Madan, the heart is under the stranglehold of Cupid, or Eros, right? This, you know, everyone should just like go, yeah, you know. This is not like a controversial statement. It's the driving principle of existence, right? And interestingly, spiritual existence and material existence. Eros, in the spiritual world, Madhura Rasa. It's purted reflection, and the material, Eros. The driving principle of material existence has a stranglehold on the heart. We mentioned this the other day, Hridrogam. This is the heart disease, right, that everyone here is suffering from. And just as a sidebar, a little report, you know, from our scientist friends are saying, there was an article saying, like, the title is, scientists, you know, latest report, science say objective world may not exist. You know, like, read on, you know. I love that one. But that's another subject. So the heart is in this stranglehold of Eros, right? Vidyate, and we're told Krishna conception can cut the nuts, and what release the pure natural flow of love that's in the heart. It means prem. Right? But how to connect that to the drop? And Guru Maharaj, he gave this example, and I thought, like, how did he hear this? But he said, just like he said, the thieves, like safecrackers. He said, there's this drop of this substance they put on there, and then it like melts through, and then the tumblers, and then the door opens. So you think it's comparing it to that, because we think, oh, nectar and sweet, but he's saying, no, the nectar, Krishna Karanamritam, it's very potent and powerful. It's not just sweet, as we might imagine, but so powerful that a drop of this will penetrate all these layers, right, and release the stranglehold that lust has upon the heart. And then the heart's real flow begins. And when she says, and you become like birds wandering around, they're saying, yes, what is that bird called? Hangsa, Paramahansa, that's the bird. Talking about these divine swan-like personalities. She's saying this will be the effects Remember, these are talks of divine madness. So in the guise of finding fault or complaining or what's the other, like cursing and yeah, but when you're it's directed towards someone, when you're chastising, Bartsan, chastisement, and even cursing, right? It's all interpreted through inversion, right? Because we're here saying, you know, we find ourselves in the opposite situation, right? Whereas Radharani and Braja Gopis, they're having meetings to try and figure out how to forget Krishna, to stop talking about Krishna, to enter some stage of forgetfulness. But it's not possible. At one point, Radharani calls together a meeting in Braja Gopis. She says, I know what the problem is. And they're like, tell us, please. She goes, it's the flute. So if we can get the flute from Krishna, we have some hope. And so they have a scheme to steal Krishna's flute. We want to be wrapped up in whatever it is they're into, which is otherwise known as Krishna consciousness. Because we can say so many things for the sake of propaganda or bringing other people in connection. But what you think is, once you come in touch with a drop, a real drop of Krishna consciousness, of hearing about Krishna, when he says your life is ruined, he means your material life, your sojourn in the material world is finished today or tomorrow. That's why Guru Maharaj liked the first verse that's acceptable by Mahaprabhu in the Ramananda Sambad, when he says, Jnane prasamudapasana eva. Stop trying to figure him out with your mind and your intellect. Do what? Stane stita shrutigatam tanuvan manobir. Wherever you are, whatever your situation is, just begin hearing about him from his agents. Or as Saraswati Thakur would say, Krishna-loving people. When you hear them talk about Krishna, it has some miraculous effect upon the heart. In one place in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the voice of the pure devotees, on account of their love for Krishna, he said, their voice is saturated with saffron mercy particles from the lotus feet of Krishna. He actually says that. Saturated with saffron mercy particles from the lotus feet of Krishna. And that enters into the ear, touches the heart, and then Radharani said, then your life is finished, it's ruined. So that is the Krishna consciousness movement. To bring people in connection with divine substance that's so powerful, it will put an end to your material existence. At the end of this life, you'll successfully terminate human existence and transition into that divine domain. That's Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Jai Go Jai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaha Hoite Vignanash Abhishta Puran Jai Go Jai Jar Mui Darodas Sansavara Padarenu Mora Panchagras Dandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Janame Janame Mor Ei Abhilas Jai Go Jai Jabe Braje Koilobas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyayaman Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Gauriya Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narotamoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Satara Sada Shri Srimad Sri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Brindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishwa Varanya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Charja Brinda ki jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Bimalavadut Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai, Jai Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi ki jai, Seva Brinda ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Brinda ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande.
Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. And Dandavats Maharaj. Dandavats from Prithu Prabhu, Priya Darshani Didi, Purushottam Prabhu, USA. Dhananjay Das, Dandavats from Siberia, Damodar Priya Das, Dandavat Pranams, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Tarulata from Belarus, Dandavat Pranams from SCS Mad, Philippines, Rupa Vilas Das, Kshama Buddhi, Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Dandavat. Kshama Buddhi, my obeisances to all the immortals gathered for the Bhakti Sangha of Krishna Katha, Dandavats. Such a wonderful Sangha. I was sitting in front of Goswami hearing classes in 1982. I'm his eternal student. I will never catch up to him, but I will keep tagging along.
Hare Krishna.
Madan Lal, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Dmitry Dimitrenko. Arthur Villa.
Kuladri.
With appreciation, please keep speaking.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai Vanchakalpadrivasya Kripa Sindhu Bevata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.